Welcome, everyone, to the Darkened Hour. Today, you have Aesop the Alchemist hosting for a very interesting episode. Beside me, in a very different room, as you can see, I have my favorite friend here.
Tia LaBeouf. This is my first YouTube video. At least streaming live, at least. I've never done it.
Yeah, streaming live on the YouTubes. That was a change for me last time I did it. It was on the Game of Thrones episode. That was interesting, getting some new faces finally. We got to branch out, so that's all good and well. So before we start getting really salty and angry, let's have a lighthearted conversation for once. How has your week been going?
My week's been pretty good. I got a new job. I just put in like my last week at my previous, so I think I start on Tuesday. I'm working in New York City. So for those who don't know, I'm a graphic designer. So that's what I do. And yeah, I'm like looking forward to my new work. I love being in New York. I love the energy. So I've had a very positive week for a change. So yeah, that's me.
Whereas me, I have X-Man Damn. It's not a scam. It's a real man. X-Man Damn. Follow him, fam, on Instagram.
What's up? Hey, X-Man.
So as it goes for me, I'm meeting a lot of new people, collaborating. I've been doing a lot of work back and forth with like Tune and Moose, follow that YouTube channel, and Villainy Games, definitely follow that YouTube channel. And along with Villainy Games, I kind of found a new collaboration with the Asylum, Psycho Psy. It's my boy. So I've been doing a lot of work with collaborations and stuff with other YouTubers. So that's pretty much where I've been. But we already started late, so let's just jump into the strand of hay hidden in the needle stack, if you will. So, Destinoto Homoroda. The American version of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's keep it lighthearted first.
We're going to be nice.
And we're going to talk about all the good things about it because it is not entirely a poop storm. It is actually very interesting, but if I could, I probably just wrote down that entire thing in my death note and got rid of it. Straight up delete. And it probably should have been deleted, but they went along with it anyway. So I'll first say that, yes, it is its own story. And with that out the gate, you should already expect it to be different from the book and or anime. No matter what your source of Death Note is, be it the anime or the book, how do I try to make that sound good? It tried its best to pay homage to it while still being its own another, like a what if story, like another universe. Like what if the Death Note landed in America instead of in Japan in front of Light Yagami? So I accepted that. We have this kid in school who's supposed to be a smartass and kind of like how Light is. He's, perfect student, but we didn't get that aspect of him. He was just like a really smart kid who got money for like doing people's tests and things like that. And like, even though he was pretty much working for the greater good, if you will, he was still kind of looked down upon by his father and even the principal when it was like, oh, he's just helping other people cheat, but he's getting paid for it, he's hustling, whatever. It's like, like they tried. I feel like they forced the world to seem rotten, and that's a quote from the anime. Like, the world is rotten, and everyone who makes it rotten deserves to die. It's like they were trying to force that side of the story onto the movie. And but like I said, I'm going to talk the good things about it first. So
we're trying.
I'm trying.
We're trying our best.
For out the gate, Ryuk was absolutely good. He was the saving grace, and I said that back on one of our earlier episodes a few months ago when I said that Ryuk is the only reason I was going to watch it, and that still stays true. Ryuk is probably the only good thing about the movie. There are other things that are good, but he's the only thing that kind of kept me watching to some degree. Then we have Black L, and I'm down for Black L. I love Black L up until a certain point, but Black L was very interesting. They made him overly broken compared to how he is in both the manga and the anime, but we were looking at like an hour and some change movie that they had to squeeze his brokenness into. So I understand why they rushed a lot of his actions where, like you said, like he didn't do the whole Lind L. Taylor kill.
Yeah.
And he just kind of like jumped out there and challenged Kira right out the gate. So I'm like, all right, I get that. They got to force a lot of it. Yeah, he was very aggressive is another statement. After Watari, he got aggressive.
Yeah.
But I will say he was assertive as hell. He was very assertive way too soon. So I'm okay. Who loves me? Oh, that's Duke. Hello, Duke. So he was way too
Yeah.
assertive, but like I still digged it because he was still socially awkward. He was still that autistic L where he needed the candy, he wasn't sleeping. Watson proved himself to be a mentor rather than just like his Alfred. He was actually kind of a mentor. So I like that aspect of it. What about you? Can you give it any redeeming qualities? I don't want to steal all the good stuff away that you would say.
Which is a surprise to me, if you watch the anime, Amani is probably one of the worst written characters of all time. And anybody who watches anime knows exactly what I'm talking about. They switched the roles where Light was way more like a Misa, and our Mia was way more of a Light than I thought she was capable of. Like, she was manipulative, a liar, a scam. Down to the end, I'm just like, this chick is different. So I appreciate the character change for her. It worked in her benefit. But who else? Like you said, Ryuk was solid. He was probably most consistently good too, because L started off good, and then he went astray into some really aggressive cop chase type thing, which was very strange. Think about L running in the streets. It's just weird. It became Lethal Weapon. It just really it became Lethal Weapon. I'm like, what is going on? Them jumping over countertops, and this is OD. Like, I couldn't take it.
You're supposed to say good things right now.
Okay, I started off good. I tried. But okay, good.
Sorry,
good.
Try again.
Okay,
Go again. Start
good.
again.
I thought the actual book, the physical book, looked pretty cool. Like, the pages looked old. You know, like, the book in the anime was like crispy.
It was
like,
crisp, fresh, and
like
new.
It came straight from Barnes & Noble. You know, it was moleskin. It was just like, okay, this looks really contemporary for a book that existed for like a millennia. But this one looked really old, and the parchment looked very frayed and brown and whatnot.
Hold on, DX. We're not trashing it yet. We're gonna get to what we liked about it.
Okay, the only cool shit was the kills. If you liked Final Destination, sure.
If you like you feel me?
If you liked Final Destination,
yeah, if you like Final Destination, part, but we're getting. She's saying the good stuff.
Yeah, saying the good stuff. There was that movie was fucking trash bags.
So I'll do a rundown of it. So basically,
yeah,
because I only watched it once. I wanted to watch it again, but hey, you can only drink cancer out of a cup once. But
right. Big facts.
So I started watching the movie, and after the first 10 minutes, I realized how much I wanted to turn it off. So 10 minutes, I was like, I couldn't stand it anymore because I didn't like the fact that they were trying to pay homage to the anime, and every time they did so, they failed. Let's take the scene where Ryuk first shows up, and he's freaking a tornado in a room flipping books around, and we have Light Turner screaming at the top of his lungs, very bitch baggy. To be fair, in the anime and in the book, Light did lose his shit, but he pulled his composure right away. He dusted himself off. You know, he was listening to that Jay-Z life, and he let's talk, as you told me in the car. Let's talk business.
Let's talk business. He skipped all the dramatics and just like, okay, you're a monster. Okay, cool, but you haven't killed me yet.
Exactly. So I'm like, all right, cool. But they went to the whole Death Gods Like Apples homage, and we see Ryuk is just like going through this whole man's apple tree like George Washington is salty. Oh, it was a cherry tree. I'm sorry. But who was the physics dude?
Oh my gosh,
Newton.
Newton, right?
So Newton is looking at them apples like, you are showing my first law at its best, because he was down on them apples, but yet he never played a joke on it. We didn't see Ryu go through the withdrawal of the lust for the apples.
Which was
he never
very
explained
funny.
how dry and decrepit the Death God apples are in the Death God world. He never even explained the Death God world like that. Like, he's just some dude who's like, yeah, here's a book, enjoy it. So it's like, all right, you guys are paying homage to the book without giving it that background story. If you're not going to give it the background story, why use it? I'll take it a step further. There's all the rules written in a notebook, and he's like, oh, rule number 33. And they're like all these loopholes that Light and Mia use, but one rule is supposed to be factual. If you touch the book or the page, it doesn't matter if you write in it. As long as your finger touches that object itself, you're supposed to be able to see the Death God it belongs to.
That's a major rule, too.
Yes, they do want a sequel. I did see that.
Oh, they want a sequel?
We'll get to that later. So I didn't like the fact that Light was the only one to see Ryuk. Now, here's the thing I also didn't like, and you said this when we were on the ride over here. What did I say? When he kept saying how humans are interesting. Because that's one of Ryuk's favorite quotes.
Yes, it is. It's famous, too.
Like, he was so mysterious in Japanese. So when Light was like, oh, what if I just write your name in a book? First of all, the rule of the book is whose human's name you write in the book.
Exactly.
That's the first thing.
Boom.
And second, when Ryuk and Turner, because I'm not going to call him Light,
I'm just,
when Ryuk and Turner
mhm.
address that situation, he says, there's only been, I was like, oh, people have tried to write my name in that book, but the furthest guy was only able to get 2 letters out of my name, and my name is 4 letters, blah, blah, blah. You know, that whole thing. And I'm like, why is this Ryuk an asshole? Like,
Yeah,
Ryuk
like,
was an asshole, true, but that's only because he had that future sight.
Yes.
He saw the eventualities. He was just doing this for fun. He was truly bored because he had an immortal life, and all the death gods did was gamble. So this Ryuk in the story is like, what is his purpose? Why mess with these humans if you had no true motivation other than just, oh, I'm passing this book around to see what niggas will do with it?
Right. If he was on the D&D personality matrix or whatever, he would be like evil neutral. Like
Yeah, he should have known. Not even. He should have been chaotic neutral.
chaotic neutral.
Chaotic neutral is where Ryuk is supposed
Because
to be.
he took something very powerful and he threw it in the human world and
Just to see what happens.
Just see what happens. There's no meaning behind it. It's just he likes to see humans destroy each other because it's entertaining.
So then when it comes to that, we have Light, whose mother died.
Martha.
And it was killed by like a drunk driver, if I believe. I can't remember how she died, but it was killed by somebody. And then the father was this very passive and respectful man. I have to give credit to the actor. He was a likable character, but he didn't matter to the overall story as he does in the books and or anime, where L proved his heartlessness, where he put him in a position to kill his own son, even though it was an unloaded gun. It had blanks in there. And remember, he had them in the backseat with Misa.
That was such an intense scene.
That scene was amazing with the
I remember how I felt as a teen watching this. My heartbeat was through the roof.
So if those who are not familiar with the anime or the book, L is well aware that Light is Kira. So the father disbelieves it, but all the evidence is obvious. So they wanted to put this through a stress test. Right. Now, unfortunately, before the stress test, Light had relinquished his powers over the Death Note. Therefore, he had lost all memory of ever having it, and Ryuk was along with somebody else. But Light, being the genius he is, he made sure that before he lost the Death Note, it was given to a person where it would eventually fall back into his hands. So, you know, fourth wall powers, breaking powers that Light has.
Yes.
Throw that aside, he was literally innocent in this situation. He was no longer Kira. He no longer knew anything about the Death Note. He had no powers whatsoever.
Right.
Misa Amane also had lost her memory in the process because Rem had also left and played the whole like, oh, we'll come back and eventually Light's plan will work out. So they were literally just innocents in the situation. He put them in the back seat, handcuffed them up, and he put a gun to his own son's head and pulled the trigger. And it fired, and there was smoke, and it was all that, but it was just blanks. And it was just to see if he was truly Kira or if Misa was really Kira, because one of them would kill him to stop the persona that is Kira from being killed. We didn't get that in this movie.
The difference between this is a major difference. Like L earned the respect of the police force. That's why his father respected his opinion of who, like, the possibility of like being Kira. He didn't just run up an old dude's house yelling at his son, throwing cups and plates. Yes. No. L played the long game. He played the long game. And he said, you know what? I know, but I can't prove it. So you know what? I'm going to build this evidence. I'm going to build and close Kira in. Trap him so he has no choice but to lash out.
And that's where Light gets his gets kind of like the hatred in the manga was like, oh, he started taking unfair advantages and things like that because like he literally was losing to L. Like you have a freshman college student going against an experienced detective. So obviously it's going to weigh in L's favor when it's all about an information game. But he has the power of a death god on him and a celebrity who is obsessed with him. Oh, I couldn't stand Misa. I hated that character so much.
It was that's where honestly the flaw of the anime is Misa, because she's so unbelievably devoted. Like it's like obnoxious. Like
it's obnoxiously devoted. Like,
I'm glad they did away with that. That was one of the strengths of the movie. They did away with that obsessiveness.
Okay. Her character was necessary, but her personality was unnecessary.
She was a little.
She was hard to deal with on screen. Yeah. But he needed somebody who was obsessed with him, who he could manipulate. Now, her being an actual celebrity is the problem. Right. Now, if the girl who was obsessed with him was a classmate, because he had girls who liked him. Remember, the one girl who he took on a bus ride where he killed Ray Pinbar, and then there was a girl who eventually became a news reporter who Mello was burned alive with.
Yo, Light. Light
So
Yagami
he
was
will
a
kill
pimp.
women just to get what he wants. And that's what I'm saying. Misa was the unnecessary one. Now,
She was kind of.
it made sense that she was a celebrity because the reason that she has that near immortal life is because the death god sacrificed himself. That's why she has a Shinigami. She can sacrifice her life. Remember the half-life spell?
Right.
She has hundreds of thousands of years to her lifespan. She will literally be the oldest living human because she had 2 death gods sacrifice their life for her. So let's just say, so she was supposed to live up until like 18 or 20. She was supposed to be killed. The death god who killed himself to save her, all the humans he killed in the process, all those timelines go to add to her years.
It's like she got the little coins. Bloop, bloop,
Exactly.
bloop,
So
bloop.
she went from only living to 20 to possibly living to 2,000, give or take. She cut that in half for Light twice.
Oh, I remember.
So let's just hypothetically say she cut 2,000 in half, so she has 1,000 years of life.
Okay.
All right, I use Shinigami eyes for you, Light. Oh, you have. And remember, when you take the Shinigami eyes, they last for about like a week or so.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because he made her do it twice. Because remember, when she lost the Death Note, she had to do the Shinigami eyes again. So cut 1,000 in half again. What do you get? 500.
500.
So she still is going to be the oldest living human. Then it gets worse. Because remember, when Watari and L died in the manga, in the anime, how did they die? Rim killed them to save Misa.
Exactly.
Therefore,
they were the ones who wrote the name of the book.
Rim killed Watari and L, who had a full lifespan. So not only are their lives added to it, the thousands of years that Rim had was been added to Misa. So Misa is now back up in the 2000s again.
And she took
she
that
lost
risk for no reason.
Nothing.
She took those risks for him.
She took them for L. But the thing is, at the end of the day, when you're on the outside looking in, you're like, wow, she broke out. Even if she didn't break even, she profited in years.
Yeah, and it's like she would have really willing give her life up for
and
Light,
that's why
that's
in the manga it alludes to a sequel to Death Note because she starts a cult.
Right, you did tell me about this.
Whereas in the anime, they don't explain what Misa's doing because she's walking through she's literally going city
was
to
she, like,
city.
Whistling or something like that?
She was singing a song.
Yeah?
She was singing a song in a trance. She didn't know Light was dead yet. She had no idea he was dead. She's walking around with her Shinigami eyes, just looking at every human that passes. And she sees all their lifespans, and she's just going on a train, walking the street. She goes to the top of a roof. They don't explain what she does in the anime, and it's kind of ominous because it's like she's like literally the most powerful creature on that planet right now because she still does have a Death Note.
Yes, of all characters, right?
Yeah, and she has thousands of years on her lifespan.
Wow.
And that's what they
should have explained their world, the Shinigami realm.
That's what I'm saying. So
general.
when you say like. When your hatred towards Misa is understandable because I can't stand her.
It was just she was made to be silly.
She was so silly, but she shouldn't have been a celebrity because it was unrealistic. Now, if she was one of his classmates that already crushed on him and got famous, but then she was just some random celebrity who worshipped Kira, which I understand because he was killing rapists and murderers, and that's how she almost died. A guy tried to rape and kill her.
Yeah.
So I understand why she worshipped him, but the guy was unsuccessful because she was saved by the Shinigami.
And
so
Light was super distant. Like he didn't. You know what I mean? He was like, okay, cool. Like, I love you. Okay. You know what I mean? Like,
he was very,
he did not
very
return the feeling
sweet.
unless it was convenient. Unless she couldn't see that she was a pawn in his little plan. And it didn't but you still are here though. Like,
well, she knew what she knew she was
didn't
being
care,
used.
I guess.
The fact that he was a human meant nothing to her. She still saw him as a god. And literally, Light had a god complex.
Big
From
time.
the fucking second... Ooh, I cursed.
It's been a
second
while.
episode. From the second episode,
but you
he
see
had a
how
god
they established
complex.
Light's god complex? They established Turner's god
Yes.
complex at all. He was
literally
still
he was still a victim. He was still emotional. He still cared for his father. Light gave no fucks about his father.
Right.
In the anime and the book, no one mattered.
No one.
The eventuality, and
Justice
I saw it on
justifies the
Peep
means. Yeah.
There was actually a summary. It's not accurate numbers, but it's a good assumption.
Right.
Now, how Light performed, when we look at how he writes it in a Death Note,
mm-hmm.
and he did, since it's Japanese, he had 3 columns going down.
Right.
Each column are names, full names in Japanese, and I forget, it was like 24 lines going down the book. So daily, when he wasn't being watched by L, he was killing over 64 people. The problem,
he was systemic
so
at best.
when you say like over like a year's time, he had knocked out easily like over 1,000 people. His entire span of being Kira, him alone, not including Mikami, not including Misa, not including the drug dealer or whatever, the mafia boss dude who joined in. Light alone killed over 200,000 people. And because remember, it was like 5 years of him being
right.
Kita.
He did it for years. He was just a kid. And
He
he
was
became
a
part
judge
of the law. Then
Now,
he became
here's
a
when it's a
cop, pretty
problem.
much.
Now let's look at the facts. Most people who are convicted are innocent because the justice system is flawed. So they're guilty and proven innocent.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just looking at American standards. In Japan, that's actually how they roll. If you've been suspicious enough, you're convicted. You shouldn't even been involved.
Right.
So when you're thinking about him who's going off police records and not actually knowing what the crime is or the stipulations are, because it's not like everybody was taku shibata taku on a fucking motorcycle trying to rape a girl in the street.
That obvious.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
It's not everybody's a shibata taku, but he's going off of police reports where police lie. The judges lie.
All the time.
Jury is false. So
Jury's
he killed
biased
people
sometimes, yeah.
who are just in
Happen
prison.
to be.
And they were
yeah.
in it. There has been like, what was the percentage? Like 40% of the people in prison have been proven innocent. It just took years to get to that point.
And
So
they should have talked about that in Turner's Death Note, where
they didn't
his
really
idea
have
they could have.
to.
I mean, if you're gonna bring it to America, you know what I mean, make it culturally.
Because remember, they were
relevant,
trying too hard to be like the anime. So I'll come back to that.
Oh,
Because remember, he
right.
killed like the freaking Japanese mafia. But the thing was, he didn't just kill the mafia. He killed all the strippers in the club too. How he got their names is beyond me. But he killed everybody in there too. When strippers and hookers are just trying to,
make ends
they're just
meet.
trying to get bread on the table. You feel
Yeah.
me? So that's where I'm like,
Oldest working profession.
that's where
right?
this was so unlike Light. Yes, Light kills innocent people.
Oh, I do remember that scene. It was all
Yeah,
just
all the bloody
bodies.
prostitutes and
I'm
stuff.
just
Yeah.
like, that's
That's unlightish.
That's pretty inhumane, don't you think?
Because it's not like he had the mafia boss. Because in the anime, he gets the mafia boss who would do that.
Yeah.
The Light we know, or the Kira who's supposed to be, would never do that.
He has such a specific profile of people he would kill. Turner was sloppy.
Turner
at
was very
best.
sloppy,
He was
and
just a
everything
mess.
was literally just
Childish.
childish.
Super
Is one
childish.
thing they made up. It felt they made up as one. Oh, I'll come with alias. I'll use Kira because it means killer in Japanese. No, it doesn't.
You don't even.
It doesn't.
Don't
It is
even.
literally just how they would pronounce the word killer. That's how it's explained in the book and in the anime. Their accent comes out Kira because there are no letter L's in Japanese.
Interesting.
All their L's are R's. So they say Kira or Kira because it's literally just saying
You
killer.
know, I never really looked into what that meant.
That's where they came up
Yeah.
with the name. They were calling him Killer.
Wow.
The IRD, because remember, when he first started showing up, he was chaotic neutral to everyone, and that's why he got the name. But then people started to worship him, and he just accepted Lord Kira. So for him to shove that, remember, and then it also means it in German or something. I forget what other language he said it means. I was like, they are trying so
They're
hard
trying to make it work.
to pay
so
homage
bad.
to the book
in the dumb kind of
in
way.
the
though.
dumbest way.
They could have done. You know, it would have been really cool if they did the red blue thing, like the red lighting versus the blue lighting. When L was doing his little intermittent monologue.
Yes, the
been
red and
tight.
blues.
That'd have been a nice homage without being so. Use visual cues. You don't have to use the actual language because you can't. Just cultural difference. You just can't.
So let's jump to L.
Oh,
Let's dissect it because we
man.
already know Turner's a piece of crap, and I just went on a whole tangent on what the actual anime showed. And all that.
Right.
And how? Oh, I wasn't done with the innocents though.
Okay.
So I said like a 200,000. Most of the people, like good 40% of the people who Light killed were innocents.
Yeah.
But after he killed L, who we know will be considered an innocent person, and Watari, who was considered an innocent person,
Mm-hmm.
crime rate in the world dropped 75%. In the world, we're talking even in third world countries where people are absolutely terrified of him, because in the entire
boogeyman.
world, over like 2 million people are killed through murder. 2 million.
Mm-hmm.
That means when his 200,000 he's killed in like mostly Japan and a splatter in America and here and around the world, we're talking manga and anime, of course, he's only hit maybe like 7% of the world's population.
Right.
For that many people he's killed, that's a
be-
lot
and
of
to
bodies
be
in
mentally
like 5 years.
affected too, right?
Yeah.
To be legitimately
And just be
afraid
blank.
of something.
Just he's just blank doing
He was
this.
a real formidable opponent.
And that's just him. We're not including Misa's kills. We're not including the mob boss's kills. We're not including Mikami's kills because Mikami,
right.
he doubled up. Mikami only had the death note for like maybe a month,
He was
and he knocked out over 2,000 people.
he was fanatical. Like
And
he was
he-
yeah.
Like where Light's average was like 64 a day, Mikami was doing like 80 a day.
He was just nonstop.
Nonstop.
And he had a real complex.
He had a real complex. That guy was lost.
He was primed for this
So-
kind of stuff. Like
So with the innocence there and the number crunches there, we're going to come back to that because they're going to ask you a very distinctive question because this is just about the anime and the manga, not this crap movie, but like the reason why I mentioned the numbers. So let's talk about L from the movie. Black L. What did you like about him and what did you dislike?
Okay. What I did like is, I guess, like the actor himself, his physical presence. Lanky, tall, slouchy. Those are things that subtle, but they were effective. He even wore the white shirt for even a half a scene. I was like, okay, that was cool. The candy eating, the awkward, like very kind of almost monotone, not trying to project himself. That was pretty, and the seating arrangement was pretty cool too. I thought that was pretty dope. And then it goes completely left. Watari unfortunately is killed. He completely unhinges, and I'm not saying that the film had to be exactly like the anime, but why make so much homage to L's kind of core personality traits and then just throw it in the trash due to tragedy? He's a detective. He's seen all types of gory, terrible things, and he knew his life. That's why he didn't show his own face. He knew that he would be in danger no matter what. And Watari knows the nature of his business. This is dangerous stuff, and then he completely loses it. He becomes a victim. L is a lot of things, right? You can make him a lot of things, but he's not anybody's victim. He is completely in control. You don't become the best just by getting emotional over death after a while. You can imagine things he's seen. They even talked about that. He's solved crazier cases. And to me, I'm like, that was where they completely lost it. He should have kept control. He shouldn't be running around the streets. He shouldn't have been in the guy's house, Turner's dad's house, acting an absolute fool, thinking that he was making some kind of point. L is just too smart. He showed all his cards on the table, and I'm just shocked they didn't end up killing L in the they just got so dangerously close to killing him. I'm like, honestly, if L would have died due to his negligence or due to his bad detective work at that point, I would have not been mad at all because they set it up that way. I feel like he lived just on luck, like just plain old luck, and that was disappointing. But kudos to at least trying in the beginning, and what became a poop storm eventually. I appreciate the effort, and the actor seemed like he legitimately cared about who L was, and I think it's direction at that point. It's writing at that point where you have to kind of shake your finger at, like, why would you? There's no reason for this, So just because it's different doesn't make it good. So that's my thing about L.
Stuff like L would drink it.
Oh yeah, he's so extra. He has a little spoon.
He's so
dainty.
much. He's too much. Look at how you remember when he. All right, any anime. This is why I love L so much, and which is why Black L I was on a fence with.
Forward.
Because L, when he first saw Misa, she runs up and hugs Light, and it messed up Light's mojo because he was still trying to analyze L.
Right.
And she pretty much exposed him by doing that. And she became a liability at that point and pretty much a flaw in his plan. So L's not stupid. Oh, who's this random girl? Oh, she's a famous pop star.
Right there.
So she's hugged up on Light, and he pats her ass. And when she turns around and looks at him, he has his hands up in the air like this.
Oh, yeah, they were like straight up to the sky.
Like, yeah, straight up to the sky. And she looked at him like, oh, this guy's creepy or whatever.
He is.
So Light and Misa, they walk away. And she's all like hugged up on Light. She's got her purse. And Light gets a call. So he answers his cell phone. He picks up his cell phone. And he sees like the contact that's calling him is Misa. And then L's holding his cell phone. Like, oh, you got this bitch staying to your phone, huh? Like he's trolling so hard. I'm like,
so good. Or they're playing tennis and stuff.
Oh,
Man's got no shoes on. And he was knocking it. He was giving him all the Serena Williams vibes. I was like, dang, this ain't got no shoes on.
He was literally like the biggest troll, and that's what made his character likable.
He was so like oblivious to it. He's like, oh, I'm just here.
Yeah, legit. He doesn't realize how weird he's being, and that's what I loved.
These dark circles around his eyes. He seemed very disheveled half the time.
You saw that he didn't get sleep, and they tried to force that in this movie where Watari kept repeating the mantra.
We got it.
Sleep calms the mind and all that jazz. It's like, okay, Watari, I get it.
Yeah. I can imagine him not sleeping. That's almost like natural for his profession.
Because I did like that he was addicted to candy because that shows how L was addicted to sweets. But it wasn't just candy. This guy lived on candy. He didn't get the coffee with like...
Oh, that would be cute.
Remember the scene?
Okay.
L took his coffee and was like, oh, he's drinking coffee. That's why he doesn't sleep. He dropped 1 cube of sugar in there. Cool. 2. That makes sense. 3. This guy doesn't sleep. 4. he's a little weird. 5. Why? He grabbed a 4 at the time and just dropped. They started handfulling them in there, and I'm like, that's a cup of sugar, and you put coffee in there.
Yeah,
like
diabetes.
Diabetes. So it was like, I wanted them to explore like how truly
and didn't
weird
he explain
L was.
about the sugar? Was he actually needs it? Like
Yeah.
the way his brain works.
He's addicted to it. Yeah, he needs it to function.
Yeah,
I mean, technically the brain does need glucose to think, so you have something
like,
sweet. So
ODs on
he
it,
ODs
pretty
on
much.
it. Yeah, he's legit addicted to it. So
But he has such cute food in the anime. Like,
yeah, he had the little
cute-
cookies with the
little
animals.
cupcakes
Yeah,
and-
that's what I was trying to say. He dines out on sweets.
And
it
it's
wasn't
like
just
fancy
candy.
stuff too. It wasn't like some.
Well, the dude had money out the yin yang.
Yeah, who knows how? I don't even know how much L was worth when his character was like.
his net worth was stupid.
And you
He
wore the
had
same shirt
funds
every
out
day.
of funds.
He wore the same shirt every day.
Well, how you think he got all that money? He don't spend it on nothing but sweets.
Nothing, not even shoes, my guy. Like,
Oh, he had his Vans.
yo,
He had his Vans when he had to do the college speech. And
yo,
can we play homage to how he did his speech? When Light was up there reading his speech, he's like,
oh, he was.
L was like, 2 fingers only each hand. Like, the guy is so awkward. I loved him, and I didn't see any of that in this movie.
It was
I'm like,
attempts, and then he became less charming. Because L is super charming, like by accident.
by accident.
And when he was broken, and when he swung that leg around, kicked Light in the face.
When Light punched him in the face, and he's like, "Oh, I'm stronger than I look."
Oh, he's like, stronger than I look. He brought that capoeira leg around.
Legit. Even in the intro by Maximum the Hormone, the dude was doing capoeira in the intro.
It was really cool. But the thing is that they lost all that charm. Like, that really awkward guy charm.
Yeah.
Make L almost seem childlike. Don't be afraid to go that
He was
far.
very immature. As soon as Watati
I
got
love
involved,
to win. He says it himself.
no, he went full. He went full bat flick on us.
You're right.
Watati got involved. Why did you say that name? Like, it went full. He went full Martha
Oh
mode.
my God. Why didn't I call this Martha's Note? Oh
Martha's
my
Note. Yeah, that
gosh.
should have been named this
That should've been
episode.
named
Martha's
that
Note,
episode.
because he went full bat flick.
It
Like,
was embarrassing.
why did you say that name? He lost all function and coolness, and he
So
just became
cringy.
this cringy. Yeah,
So
legitimately
cringe.
cringy.
Be-
And then to make matters worse, after his tantrum and with Mia getting killed because Light planned for the plan that she planned against his plan.
He
so
didn't
she
seem that
planned around,
smart,
like,
to be honest.
He didn't seem that smart. And
No.
he was that smart, but they fourth walled the hell out of it.
Oh, yeah. They really.
They're like, she told him that, oh, I put your name in the book. Oh, really? So then he planned it, but then he wrote all. Remember when he left the prom and he went to the student the library in the school and he starts like typing and writing stuff down?
Yeah.
All he had to do was, they didn't show the full typing. They just showed him touch the computer and then he wrote her name down. I knew he wrote her name in it for a fact. Obviously, he's writing Mia's name. I'm like, all right. He's thinking, I die, I'm taking you out with me. Point blank.
Okay.
Even if you have the book, you're not going to think to burn this random page because I could write it anywhere in the book. I could write it on the very last page and you'll never know.
Way in the corner, right?
Legit. So it's like, either way, she was in the book. But then when he's in the hospital and telling his dad everything he did and explaining the death note to his father, which something Light would never do.
Ever.
But
He would
he's
die
explaining
before he
the
would tell.
entire book to his father. And he picked out, oh, these criminals they did crimes in the past, but they're retired and they're living good lives. So I used them and killed them. Because he had like the gardener who was like a pedophile, and then like the janitor who was a
Right.
murderer, who had murdered his wife or
Passing
something. It's like,
judgment, right?
and I'm like, oh, and I just used them and then I had them kill themselves off. I was like, but what?
They did their time.
Like you mean to tell me in that like 10 minutes window you had less than 10
I mean,
minutes?
I'm talking small.
You search these people, their
Google them.
locations, their names, their faces, because that's the rule
And
of death note. You need to
addresses.
know their names, their faces. You were able to put them in a death note, had them conveniently in your area, because remember, it has to be like logical to how that person behaves for them to do something. Like Ryuk said, you can't have a shark eat someone out of the toilet. Although that's funny, it's impossible.
Yeah.
He had these random events. Granted, I like how he put the page with his name on it burns.
Right.
That's all he freaking needed, and her name in the book, and left it alone.
Right.
The whole that you had some random, I'm sorry, not the janitor, this random mailman, because it was officially a mailman.
And left it on his chest.
And left it on his chest. I'm like, all right, so.
That's 3 people, 3 different lives. Who knows where they're at? How did you know they were there?
Exactly.
Questions.
Questions.
It just left you with like.
It was so fourth wall breaking
They
that it
reached
defined.
so
It was what
far.
Light Yagami would do, but Light Turner would never do.
Oh yeah, Light Yagami would thinks like that. That's
Light Yagami already knew these niggas existed. He wouldn't need to research them after prom.
Googling.
He would have planned. Oh, you wrote my name in the book? Good.
Oh.
Light has plans to kill everyone he meets in the anime, in the manga. He was well prepared to kill Misa the
Like,
moment he met
you
her.
remember? Oh my God, the first kill where we thought he was gonna call that detective, that former
Ray Penbar.
Ray Penbar, poor lady, bro.
Ray Penbar was one thing, and they used that in this movie. But instead of him doing the Ray Penbar killings, Mia did it, which is stupid. Mia did the Ray Penbar killings, killed all the FBI agents, which I didn't like.
Whack.
That was whack.
Oh,
as hell.
wasn't okay.
But his wife, Ray Penbar's wife in the anime, because she doesn't exist in this movie.
Yeah.
She had him caught.
Right.
She had him. She had him. She just didn't know that she was talking to him.
Who would know? You know what I mean? Who would know that you talk
some
to this
random kid.
The lead detective.
This nigga
kid.
legit lost because he failed. He messed up by killing all the FBI agents. When they gave up fucking investigating him, they were done investigating him, but his ego got in the way, and she caught on to that. His wife was so smart.
Yo, that lady was super smart. It was so unfortunate how
but when he finally, and she even gave him a fake name. As soon as she gave him a fake name, Ryuk was like,
that dry laugh, yo.
The I eat cigarettes laugh.
Yo, for real. Oh, another thing about the movie that just bothered me. I just thought the soundtrack was
dry because the real
Take my
Death Note,
breath away.
the Death Note soundtrack was so.
Fire.
I literally learned how to play guitar because of Death Note. I learned guitar and only learned how to play Death Note songs
Both
from someone who's
intros.
left-handed. You know what the struggle was for me to learn them stuff, but I still
imagine.
learned it.
The intro's fire. Even the little sounds they make during the show, the instrumental during the show, even stuff like that sounded better than anything they put in there.
Here's my biggest
garbage.
issue, and then we'll wrap it up.
Sure.
We'll have because we're gonna have a little debate, I'm sure. 'Cause we're at the last 10 minutes. The one scene, the movie would have. I'm rating it now. I'm giving it like 1 through 10 notes or whatever, or names out of 10 and
apples, right?
whatever. Apples. There we go. Apples. We'll do apples because Death Gods like apples, and they didn't mention it in the movie. I'm gonna rate it a generous 2 out of 10, only because there's only 2 things I liked about it: Black L and Ryuk's design.
I think we have the same rating. We have the same rating, bro.
Only because I like their characters, and then like the whole light thing kind of got lost in the sauce
He
with
was
him.
messy and
I mean,
stupid.
not like the whole L thing got lost when Watari went missing. So I'm like, I'm not.
L
too
could have been
big
the
of it.
fave, huh? He could have been the fave.
L could have been a fade, but Ryuk was solid all the way through. He was more sinister than Ryuk was, but I accepted it because it's a whole nother side of the story, allegedly. So that's my rating. What's your rating?
It's the same. I'm sorry. I've never agreed more. This is too. I want to be
And
petty. And
I
cut
would've
the
gave it
apple
now,
in half and
after
give them the
yeah,
core. Like,
seriously, I would have given it a 5 out of 10 if they did one necessary scene.
Ooh.
Only one scene mattered when Light first starts off killing the criminals before L really gets when L's first investigating with the cameras in the house and all that. If Light Turner had a bag of chips and he took a chip out and ate it,
I would have cried. I'd have been screaming.
he never ate that epic chip. That is the most epic chip in anime history.
I've actually rewatched the series and posted that clip on my Instagram. I had to.
It is the most epic chip eating scene on the face of
and
the
it just
earth.
worked.
On the face of that's how because
It just
man,
worked.
think about it. This is a detective anime about somebody who's writing in a notebook.
That's dry.
Look how epic they make everything. Look how Mikami writes names. He's so epic. He's cutting pages with a pen. It flashes in red. And when he flies away from the book because he has to do parkour just to write names, his feet make tire screeching noises. What are we watching? It's so epic. So here's why I mentioned the names.
Oh my god.
We gave our ratings. We made our jokes. Light killed well over 200,000 people. We know an easy 4,000 of them are innocent people. Completely innocent people.
Then his logic is flawed. His methods are flawed.
But
Yeah.
he reduced all crimes in the planet 75%.
Necessary evil. That's what he thinks he is.
Do you think he is?
Oh, I mean, what depends? You mean talking about the anime or talking about the film?
Well, the movie aside, we
Movie aside?
we
Okay.
rated it. It's dead.
I can tell you
we
why.
wrote it in the. Hold on.
Okay. You're bringing out the notebook. Delita. Yeah, you gotta get extra with it.
I need to watch. Use my phone. Hata Kobe wa. Yo. San. Ni. Ichi. It's dead now. Let's talk about the manga.
Okay.
Light killed X amount of people.
Yeah.
Do you think it was just with his results? Even after Nier came into the picture and killed him for being the psychotic guy he was, because he was psychotic, do you think that his God complex was the necessary evil to actually reduce the crimes in the entire
make
planet?
Changes. I still stand where Ryuk says, if you kill all the bad people, you're the only one that's left. That's bad.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that threw a monkey wrench in his logic of thinking that, his philosophy was flawed from the gate.
Yep.
And Light's too arrogant, too just way overconfident. Think that this kid who's never seen the world outside his daddy's house could think that he can rule judgment over people. It was just fascinating. Like, he was just, that's what happens when you're the smart kid in school. You know what I mean? He was a big fish in a small pool. No one could compete with him. He had no intellectual competition at all, other than L. Yeah. So when you think like that, absolutely. So when it comes down to it, no, Light was a jerk. He's an intellectual, pretentious prick mostly.
Okay, well, not necessarily. Well, Light character aside,
yeah.
Do you think he was actually a necessary evil with his results? When he died, he had already brought near world peace. He was close to achieving world peace, despite the fact he's not like Dr. Doom, where he just took over the world and like his word is law, so it's peace. But he literally had people legit, like they weren't Christian, Muslim, or anything, that they worshipped him, where he was, and they just generally were taught to be good people because he didn't have a Bible, he didn't have a book. And when people tried to make a religion out of it and worship and try to extort people for money as a religion, Mikami killed them.
Exactly. Fear is a powerful agent, and I think using fear is. Yeah,
which is strangely is how a lot of religions work too.
Exactly. So he became a religion.
Yeah, he literally. I mean, hell, Lord Kia. He accomplished that within the first month of doing it.
The only reason why I think his means of world peace is just everyone's in a constant state of fear, and that's not peace.
Yes,
in my opinion, the way I see it. Like they didn't come to their own. Like, hey, we should do better. We should, you know what I mean? That people didn't come on their own to like. Someone had to come in and wreak absolute hell, right? In order for you to realize, maybe we should stop bombing each other. You know what I mean? Maybe we should stop. It took that. So that means humanity itself, the innate, you can't change that. It's here. Violence is here. You can kill as many people you want to, and people are still going to murder each other.
Yep.
That's the reality. That's why I feel like Light had good intentions, but I think he had a one-track mind, and he had a very... L never answers what justice is. He just knows that you don't get to decide who lives life. You just don't. And that's why L is always going to be the knight in shining armor. You know, I will do what's good for people, and criminals deserve their time in court. That's why he became a detective.
So I'm glad you said, because I have the same thought. Because I understand what a God complex is when you look at Light. He was literally a God complex.
Yeah.
Now, going a little off topic,
with
the same, going off subject with the same topic, because we're talking God complexes. I'll take World of Warcraft for an example. The big baddie Sargeras is literally a god who can create planets, essentially, like life on all planets. He literally is a creator and a destroyer. He can destroy entire universes, or galaxies rather, and he can jump through multiverses as well, and still bring his army of demons. And he's evil in everyone's eyes who lives on this planet that you're playing in a game. You know what his ultimate goal is? To stop the life that exists in the universe now, so that there's another universe of nothing but evil creatures who want to corrupt this. They feed off of our life.
Right.
So what he wants to do is wipe us all out so that they're weakened, so that he can take them out, and then he'll go back and recreate the life he destroyed. Since he already he started off as being a creator of life. Now that the lives he created are all corrupted and are in jeopardy, he wants to clean the slate, kill the enemies that are corrupting him, and come back and remake it.
What a complex. It's kind of like, wow.
So he uses demons because demons don't care about killing people. So he uses corrupted demons because he's going to kill them. He defeated them and imprisoned them. All his prisoners are now his servants.
Wow.
All right, you guys are fucked up. You're going to kill anything I tell you to kill. Go kill them. We need to clean the slate. They don't know what they're doing. They just think, we're cleaning the... Yeah, we get to kill and murder. All right, you do all the evil stuff you want because I'm going to punish you after this is all done.
Exactly. Wow. It's just like I think gods are supposed to think like that.
That's
on
a
some
god.
level.
That's a
It's
true god complex.
Yeah, if you're the little person, you're not gonna see
And
that
that's
big
what
picture.
Light became. Light was still a little person, but he saw the
He's
bigger
so petty
picture.
at heart.
And
He's
him,
petty.
his pride overtook it.
Oh yeah, that's
His
an
pride.
ego. He had
His
major
pride.
ego and pride because he thought he.
Because look at Mello and Nier.
Oh,
They had pride, but they learned to work together. Light couldn't understand the fact that, yeah, you want to bring
need
world peace,
someone.
but you are not thinking about helping people anymore. You're about, well, I'm going to take down anyone or I seem bad. You're just looking to be, you're a vengeful god at this point.
right.
You're a Book of Revelations god. Like
and
you're
yeah.
just, I mean, not, you're the, what is it? The New Testament.
Oh right, the
Yeah.
New Testament versus nice God and Old Testament.
Yeah, so I'm like, so it's like, all right.
Okay, his idea of what qualifies someone to die to me was very narrow, right? What if you're
Hence why I brought up the proven
yeah,
innocence thing.
exactly. So, okay, murder charges, sexual based offenses and things like that. There are grades of this stuff. You know what I mean? There's people who do more harm, like people who steal from the poor. You know what I mean? People who make sure children are starving, or who have hospitals that don't treat people, or malpractice and things like that. There are plenty of other loopholes where people can do damage, but it's low key. It's not like a mass murdering serial killer. Like that's obvious. So this evil gene that we have, you can kill as many people as you want, and it's going nowhere. It's going to pass off to the next
And
generation.
that brings us to another anime, Psychopaths.
Psychopaths. What's that?
Psychopaths, where there was a society that could read your emotions.
Oof.
And if you had the emotion or the intent to kill a person or do something, not even kill a person, not even that extreme, if you had the emotion to seek vengeance or cause disruption to the peace that was established in a society, you were considered a sociopath. When you're considered a sociopath, you have to take drugs that lower your heart rate and your emotion where you're on. Like, you basically had to smoke weed all day to get past it. You had to be high and just happy on Molly. Like, that's what this society was.
Yeah.
There was someone who had a God complex. There was a girl who had a God complex as well. She saw murder as an art.
Oh,
She
boy.
killed all her classmates and turned it into artwork. The censors couldn't pick her up. She would
She played.
she
the
would
system.
drug them, bleach them, like in the movie The Cell with Jennifer Lopez.
Oh.
Remember how he made dolls? She did the same thing. Here's the worst part. She would mutilate them. She would cut their bodies up and like put the legs at the shoulders, and she would literally completely restructure
Contort
their
them?
bodies. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And put flowers and ribbons and like draw faces. Like she literally made art using actual corpses and then put them up in public parks. She was literally psychotic, but the censors couldn't read her because she was innocently creating art. She
In
wanted to honor her
mind,
father.
Right. In her mind, this was not murderous. She switched her brainwaves just didn't operate like everyone else.
And that's what comes
come
back
from
to
hate.
how Light judges people. He murdered somebody. What were his motivations? You don't care.
That girl fought under the radar with like
Exactly.
Wow.
She's on. Yeah, exactly. She will
Yeah.
fall on the radar, and that's where it comes. Where I brought peace to 75%, but what did we lose in the process? Who are you really killing?
Think about all the people, innocent people that died, just so you can.
And think about the
prove a point.
people who you see as innocent who should be convicted.
Mm-hmm.
That's a major flaw in his complex, and that goes back to Ryuk saying, "Ningen yoratero omoshida." Humans are interesting.
That they are. Oh man.
So,
But once again,
my final thoughts were humans are interesting. How about you?
2 apples out of 10. For movie.
Well, we did the rating, but like
To-
overall,
oh,
the Death
overall,
Note,
oh yeah.
the Death Note itself,
Okay, sure. Oh,
'Cause-
Death Note as a lore.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's
because the movie
that's
definitely
iconic.
understood what it was doing, in manga and manga and anime aside. But even the movie knew what they were doing; they just went about it the wrong way. The
were-
direction was
they
terrible.
were ass backwards.
Sequel is one thing because I
Oh,
can
a
still see this
sequel.
being a sequel because how they ended it was open ended as hell.
I mean, it just left it open.
it shouldn't.
I thought they were
have
gonna
a
hand him the
sequel, but
uniform that he wears in the actual anime series. So, you're gonna be in a new school now. 'Cause You
Yeah.
can't go back there. Can't back to your old school. We're gonna go now. So he goes to college and he's
How do
wearing
you
the
feel
official
about
uniform.
a Death Note in itself?
A Death Note? You mean
Because
as
people every day say, "Damn, I wish I had a Death Note."
no? I want no part of that. That is something you don't undo. Once you kill a person, there is no undoing it. You can sit there and justify it. You can sit here and swing around it. If you're comfortable with even that person's a really terrible person. Say if you're comfortable with taking someone's life, this says a lot about who you are and where your values lie. That's going to solve everyone's problem. This guy's off the earth. Killing this guy will not bring back the victims. It will not undo things. So it's like you're killing him just so you can feel better about the situation. So it becomes very
that's how
selfish.
actual murder is. That's why Elle called him a murderer.
Boom,
and that's literally the same. It's exact concept.
That's it.
That's exactly what it is.
His logic collapses on itself eventually. Like,
can you see a Death Note actually being used for good?
It just goes for good. It's kind of like, the army
is chaotic neutral.
It's chaotic neutral. That's what it is, and it depends on the person who's holding it, what their values are, and who gets to die. And that goes to people who think capital punishment should be, illegal, or should we do lethal injections? Should we electrocute people? Should we go get medieval on people?
Yeah.
It's just like it's a weird place to walk in because you don't want to come off as a psycho.
Yeah.
You don't want to come off as like, yeah, this guy, he did something bad. We should go quarter him or do some Game of Thrones stuff and put him on a horse or rip his insides out or do something terrible.
Well, we're getting Saw. Remember, there's a rule. You have 2 minutes and 2 minutes and 40 seconds to write how they die and what they do before.
Or Black Mirror or something like that explores capital punishment and like. They augmented a reality. So this girl did something really bad and she accidentally killed the child or something like that. Mm-hmm. And they had her repeat this game or whatever. And she's being tortured. Like, she's being chased around by people. She has no idea. Her memory got wiped. People are recording her. She's like, what are you guys doing? She's running around.
No.
And it does it again and again. That's punishment. That was her jail time.
As long as the specification of death is realistic, the Death Note will apply by it.
Heart attacks.
Now, heart attacks is one thing. Now, let's just say,
most people die from
we don't know how we're going to die. You write a person's name in. They will die by their predetermined time and year.
Right.
But before then, you write all the details to redeem that person. Think about all the horrible people we know in history. Imagine if you can kill that person when they're supposed to die. Remember how L used Lind L. Teller? Mm-hmm. This guy was sentenced to die this time. We were going to kill him anyway. But he had him redeem himself before his death.
Right.
If you could redeem someone before they died, would you use the Death Note?
But redeem who? Why would I feel the need to redeem someone?
There are horrible people in the world.
Yeah.
Imagine if the Death Note was real and it dropped in front of somebody during Hitler times.
Oof.
Think about that. Think about what you could truly, truly change with the Death Note. You can literally have this guy bring world peace. Because remember, if it's realistic, you can have him lead armies where he actually conquers all the world.
Right.
And then have them make peace, like Doctor Doom did. Or vice versa. You can have him bring back take back his army and retreat. Like, you can force him to quit the war. Like, you can literally control their actions as long as it's physically possible.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just one of those things. There are people who we believe are absolute evil. Like, Hitler is always an obvious example, right? Like, that's an obvious example.
That's why I went
Everyone's
with that. Easy,
obviously,
but he truly saw the world in a different light. And it's like the artist I was telling you about.
He was cleansing.
Yes.
He was doing something better. You see what I mean? It means something for somebody else.
That's why if you can make them a redeeming person.
Oh, wow.
Because the error of his ways are obvious.
Mm-hmm.
So you force him to see the error of his ways and still give him an honorary death as he should, as a human.
See the error of his ways. Like, he just wakes up one day like, wow, I've been doing terrible things my whole life.
Because allegedly he committed suicide.
Right.
Allegedly. But his body was never found. It was a woman's body they found.
Because it was his wife or something like that, right?
his boo thing.
Yeah. That would be something else. I mean, you'd be changing the course of history. You know what I mean? You made sure the sniper that killed JFK dies. You know what I mean? JFK goes.
You see where I'm going? Yeah, exactly. And that's the redemption that a Death Note can bring, and that's what Light thought he was doing, but he was just killing random criminals.
Rando.
He wasn't thinking.
He himself wasn't thinking big, I guess, right?
Exactly. He wasn't. He started small.
He thought he was
because he wanted to start small, but he got caught by L, which in the movie they forced. Because remember, no, he's obviously in Japan. How do you figure? See, in the anime and the manga, he's like, okay, think about the people he's killing. All the people he's killed are all Japanese. And they're only from, because Japan is split into technically 2 halves, but there's 4 regions, which are the 4 Genji beasts or whatever. There's the phoenix, the dragon, the turtle, and the tiger. But with those aside, it's pretty much split in half. So there's the raccoon and there's the fox side. Hence why in Naruto, there's the fox that has the one tail. I mean, the raccoon has a one tail and the fox that has the 9 tails. That's what that's all about in Naruto.
Right.
But that's how L figured out. Oh, but he's only killing people from this hemisphere of Japan. That's how he felt. He looked at the list. He looked at where they're native to. They're all Japanese. He killed a few English people, American people, but, you know, those just seem to be like flukes to take it all the trouble. But the consistency is all Japanese.
And it's only broadcasted here in Japan. So he almost screwed himself over by thinking small.
No, he didn't think,
L really caught it.
They didn't do that in the movie. He just like, no, he's Japanese, I can tell. Like, how you figure?
It's the thing about the one here in America. They're based in Seattle. Yeah, Rando. I don't know. They were weird about it. They didn't want to choose a city. They didn't want to do New York. They didn't want to do LA. Didn't want to do Austin, Texas, or something like that. So you chose Washington State. Okay, sure. It was always rating for some reason, but okay. So how would you even narrow it down? There are a lot of people live in this country. You know what I mean? We all have access to all of our different news networks.
It was fourth wall force.
Yeah, that's where
they had to show that L was broken, but they just forced it on him.
They were like, "Yeah,
you gotta be broken.
Out.
He's badass. He's Superman for no reason. He's just broken. That's why I said I liked him, but there was so many things forced. Yeah, they got a time crunch because it's a movie, but they didn't even bother to explain his brokenness. He's supposed to be that broken, but give it reason, and they didn't do any of that.
You know, crazy. Netflix has so many series. They should have made it a series if that was the case.
Yep. I would
4-issue, 5-issue series.
That way, I had time to flesh out and to actually
flesh
develop
out
these
Lights
characters.
Gone complex. Why would he feel?
We all hated the American thing because American touches Japanese again. We don't know another whitewashing Ghost in the Shell, but like, it could have worked if it had actually good direction and some time given. Because there are at least likable elements to this. Very few, but likable elements because they tried their damnedest to pay homage. They tried it. It's like Ghost in the Shell. They pay homage to so many sources, and that's why the movie was. The storyline was so messed up because they paid homage. Yeah. We're gonna reference the first movie, the second movie, a few video games, all other comic books that ever existed, even though they're totally different existing universes. Right. Then we're gonna squeeze all this into a movie, and now it's incoherent. It's like, I'm glad that you noticed that everything Ghost in the Shell under the sun, but you can't squeeze it all together.
Didn't have to.
Yeah, like you had a box of Crayola. They said, "Here, make a monochrome."
Yo,
you used every color. Monochrome is just one shade,
a kid, right?
One color shade.
The crayon.
Exactly. You doing a monochrome. You take a red and everything that red can be, an orange and maybe pink, and that's as far as your monochrome should go. You went green. Then you splashed some purple in there.
Colors of the rainbow.
Like you went Skittles.
Yeah, you did.
That's what Ghost in the Shell was, and that's what I felt Death Note was. It was.
They could have done a short series. They do it all the time. All these original series on Netflix class, they have like 6 episodes, 7 episodes. They did it for Castlevania. You know what I mean? Gave them 4 episodes.
I still gotta watch that, but I'm hyped. People are like, they're tickling me in my man parts. Even Gnarly Marv over here, my villain is telling me to watch it, so I will watch it.
I don't even play the game. I know nothing about it, and I was hyped. I was like, this is good. But
we're at that part.
We are.
We're at that mark.
We're at the mark.
So, you want to do the shout-outs? You're usually the one to do that. I'm not good
at it.
Yeah. I'm not good at those. You make me do the sign-off. I'm used to the sign-off.
Okay, sure. So, shout-outs to Jessica Lynn. She's doing Kickstarter for her art book. Shout-outs to Joker's Child. Shout-outs to Fortress of Solitude. Shout-outs to Speak Your Mind Radio. You know, shout-outs to the Real Shit Talkers. Shout-outs to OTR. Villainy Games. Oh, villain, my villain.
Burn!
And yeah, that's my end of my shout outs.
I got another shout out. Shout outs to my peoples at the asylum. I don't actually. Oh, that's bad. I don't actually know the name of the YouTube channel. I just know Psycho Psy in the asylum. Right. I can't remember the actual YouTube channel. That's a bad thing. I'll just comment that in the description, I guess. And then shout outs to Tune and Moose, my boys Tune and Moose. Do Moose things and stay tuned. And that's all my shout-outs. So,
yeah. As the sun sets on this mortal realm.
As usual, guys, if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button. Leave us a comment on what you'd like to hear us talk about in our next Darkened Hour video. This is Aesop the Alchemist.
Teal above.
And we'll get back to you guys later. Cheers.
Cheers.